and it conceals the science as a conceptual physics formula.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's still mathematics.
It is.
Right? But the people get so caught in their emotions, they can't see the mathematics. That means they'll never see from God's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
There's a positive and negative polarity.
Mm-hmm.
When the pendulum swings to the negative polarity, what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
It's still within the spectrum. So you have to go through a negative phase and a positive phase.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? Now the pendulum is swinging back from the negative, complete pole negative, to the positive, complete pole positive, but you have to go through the phases in the middle. This is called following the process.
Mm-hmm.
Right? This is also the protractor that you draw circles with in school, which represents your Masonic tools for navigating.
The compass, yes, they do. Yes, they do.
A compass in the square.
Square, yep, and that's why they say stand on your square. That's why we call it standing on business.
Now, when you say protractor, that's somebody who draws something out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we was in a protracted struggle. So the struggle was already drawn out for us to go through.
Right.
Right? And the struggle was boxed in, which requires the use of the square.
Right.
So all four corners of the square is folded to the middle, and the outline looks like a cross.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? So when the outline look like a cross, you have to flip the corners back out. It's a four-corner shuffle.
Mm-hmm.
The four-corner shuffle is a 4X flip. A 4X flip is motherland, fatherland, daughter. The female.
Right.
In the four-corner shuffle, in the streets as a clan, is called a four-corner hustler.
Mm-hmm.
He's the vice lord.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? And the vice lords, we call them Vicky Lou.
Vicky Lou, yep. Yep, Vicky Lou. Mm-hmm.
Right? And they call the GDs Joe. Yep. Joe mean coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And the coffee chief is getting a message from Big Mama House from the vice lord's chief that we call in Vicky Lou. Mm-hmm. But what the VL is the compass in the square. Mm-hmm. L flipped 7. When you thought I was losing, I was just waiting to flip the L to the 7 so you knew I was winning. The triple sevens is a jackpot. And X marks the spot. So in order to get the jackpot, you got to flip the four-corner shuffle off of Vice Lord, but you can't get there to the Vice Lords unless you go through a stone. Chief Malik Angel.
Yep,
So you got 5 kings that rule over the Vice Lord house. You used to have 2 kings, Big Bull and Angel Bay. Right? But the enemies murdered Big Bull. Right? So that left Angel Bay. Right? But Larry flipped. So the 21 brick pyramid, now there's a 20. So the moles say 20 mo. Right? But the one that flipped, they called a cold brick. That's a Scorpio knot because water in this fixed position is an ice, and the ice is a square. In the block, when it's sold by the man who say that the white man ice is colder than the black man ice.
That's why I say it's cold as ice.
Yep. So the Scorpion King rise up to protect the Virgo. Right? But first, there's Libra in the middle, which is a set of scales that need to be balanced. It's the energy between the masculine and the feminine. And by balancing the energy, you remove the scales when justice is served and the man meets the woman. And then the Virgo Scorpio becomes united once again, and it restructures the layout of the galactic map on Earth, as above, so below. So we using the astrology and the astronomy to read the movement of the physical energy of the stars that walk on the earth as people. And those stars are 7 sisters and 3 kings, Orion and Pleiades, right? And the 7 sisters trump the 3 brothers. So you see the trump card that can trump the 3 brothers, which is 3 aces, has to be a joker. And the jokers are wild, right? And Rakim say jokers is wild, and if you want to be tamed, I'm going to treat you like a child, then you're going to be named another enemy, not even a friend of me. Till some chump push up and pretend to be thinking I'm a new jack, but only if you do that. They who think wrong are they who can't do that style that I'm doing. Patterns and paragraphs based on ruins. He's telling you, he's giving you back your culture if you can read the signs, because they left our culture in ruins. Shout out to the guy Rakim Allah for giving us the science.
And that's why, like, if you're playing, they say it's chess, not checkers, but really you have to learn both again, my eye. Because their game is chess. So again, in order to beat your enemy, you have to over and understand your enemy. But that's why we had checkers and then connect 4, which is what you're talking about, the 4 corner shuffle, right? So again, that's why you say it's kind of really it's all of that. But you have to be able to over and understand the code. You have to over and understand all of the codes with it.
So we formed a treaty in Pontiac, Illinois, which gave a knock to Chief Pontiac in Michigan, telling him what his mission is. To follow up on the peace treaty of the outlaw tribe so that we can reclaim what's rightfully ours. We the people from the land that they call we the people who follow the great law. And they come in from these flying kings, which on the flip is just floating kings talking about Admiralty Maritime and swinging the flag.
Right.
We told them chiefs, we don't give a fuck about your flag. Where is my totem pole stationed at? Now we can talk about the land. If you don't know where the totem chief's at, then you don't know how to reclaim your land. You dig?
Because we got told we don't do flags, right?
So the totem chiefs are the chiefs that operate from the totem animals. If you look, you can see the eagle at the top. Is that an eagle or ours? The aliens at the bottom. Then you see the frog. The frog was our original navy. The original navy of frogmen used to come out the waters on the enemy. They used to roam all of the waterways of the land. They have us believing that we didn't have a navy.
Right.
But they telling their stories how they came across the navy of the old Mississippians when they tried to cross the Mississippi. So they had to go so far north to go around it before they Lewis and Clark get fucked up at the pass. You dig? So we reconstructing from all parts of the land pieces to the story on this cannonball run, chasing this drag queen across the land. The mare is masquerading as a stallion, and a stallion is a male horse. So it's telling you the story in your face, behind your back. If you don't know what the story is, then you have to sit back and observe from what we call a God's eye view, the overview. What does it mean? The physics of it all, the mechanics, the constitution. How was it made? Who put it together? What was their intentions? We was at war. How did they settle on our land if we at war? An occupying force, a military contingent. They told us the United Nations was founded in 1945 and the League of Nations failed in like 1912 or some shit. I think the date is off on that, but the League of Nations failed. So that means that there was a group of nations that was already in league until they failed. Why did they fail? Because somebody named Noble Drew Ali merged and put their secrets in the public domain. Uh-oh. And Noble Drew Ali is working in the red house, and Marcus Garvey come and build the army working out the blue house. And the whole family in the March of the Matriarchs return. Right. That's the mother in the box. Yeah. That's the mother in the box. You see how they got the square around the elephant?
Mm-hmm.
That's the mother in the box. And you see over her back, they got what look like 3 teardrops. That's the belt of Orion.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And the dot behind that is the symbol for the sun, but it's separated by a line, which means 2 different things going on. The 3 kings got to call the sun in order to bring the matriarch out the box. It's a hijra. It's a march of elephants. But these birds keep dropping shit that's toxic on top of the elephants that's interfering with the hijra. Right? So then the sisters come with the shells and tell the story.
With the elephant off because we the mother.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Then that's
Yes,
also the symbol of the seat of Tawaret, the
right.
great
Yep,
mother who sits
yep,
dead
great
center of
mother.
the
And
zodiac.
that's why
Yep.
she's in the center. And that's why she's in the center.
Yep.
That's why she's in the center. That's the real. That's the real zone. That's the real astrology. The real one. Mm-hmm.
So
And
the
we just
signs
bring
of
it
the
up to this way.
zodiac is
Yep.
the signs of the zodiac. Zodiac means
Zoo. Yep.
zoology.
Mm-hmm.
Zodiac means study of zoology. So when you study in the stars and you study in the zoo types, you can match the energy in order to read the frequency, and that's how you put the puzzle together.
And also, we kind of looked at us as doulas. Speaking of doulas, we looked at the stars, and not just this Western astrology stars, but kind of what now they've scattered in Vedic or whatever. And we would look and say, okay, this is where the asteroid Sirius is sitting, or Chiron is sitting, or whatever. You know, we would look at all of the energies. And so now what they've now called Egypt or Chemite astrology, right? So when we look at the houses, it was really your houses or your tribes, and we say, okay, this is one from the house of Amun Ra, right? We knew this is going to be a leader. That's why, like we say, politicians or presidents, they're selected, not elected. That's why they say that, right? They choose you, you know, because we knew as readers, as seers, those who were in the house of Aset or Isis, or those who's in the house of Sakamet, or those who were in the house of Nut, or all those different ones. We would look at the energies all around, and we would know, because that's why if you try to translate what they've now called Egyptian astrology in the Western, it does not translate. You can't. It's hard to find a date because it was basically based off of energy. It was based off of energy, not on the date, like how Western astrology because time is not real. Time is an illusion. The past, the present, and the future are all simultaneously existing at the same time. So when the seed would go, not only would we look at the child, but we would look at the mother, and then we would look at the father, and we would look at the energy of the bloodlines, right? Because that's what the whole reincarnation of Aset, Asar, and Haru, right? Is about reincarnation, right? Was. So we would look at the energy and realize about what house you were probably coming in. And not only that, what they call arranged marriages are what we would call compatibility charts. So we would look at Osiris and we say, okay, Osiris needs a Tata Jehudi, right? And he needs to be with a Set or Isis. Because if you are a leader, we know you kind of just up there, you know, we can't just, you got to have something to balance you out. And you need a guide, or you need somebody that's going to give you some direction. So just even as we're going into on March 25th, for instance, it's the Libra, full moon eclipse. Eclipses come to eclipse things. It's openings, it's portals, it's doorways, it's gateways, it's endings, it's beginnings. It's going to cancel out final contracts, and it's not by accident. It's, yes, astrologically, but it's right before the Aries new moon, which is right also before Empress's coronation, because these contracts, these final contracts are over. They're ending. They're dead. I mean, of course they're dead, but it's the final ultimatum of it. So, Jehudi, the school of Jehudi, taught us these different sacred sciences like that.
Do you remember you said about hold on, let me back up. I got to backtrack in my brain for a second.
I know.
It was something you said I got to go back to. Right before you said school at Tahuti.
When I was talking about the parents and the charts and how we knew like that if we had an Osiris that we knew he needed to be with a Jehudi and the Isis, like compatibility. We didn't have quote unquote arranged marriages, like just arranged, like we knew who needed kind of be where based off of the energy and stuff like that. I know I said that. And then I said we looked at all of the placements of the astrology and astronomy and the stars. Like when we pull what we call charts, we don't do just how Western astrology only looks at like the few planets in
Oh,
the house.
I remember what I want to talk about. Earlier you said that it's difficult to read Egyptian astrology with modern astrology.
Yeah, you can't cross over. They don't, because we didn't,
So
time is illusion.
one of the things we're not looking at is the astrology that was written in Egypt. We can learn from it, but it was written for a different epic, a different part of this eternal story that we weave in called humanity. It was a different period. So the alignments are not the same. Right. So when you try to line it up, you're getting confused. Right. Because it doesn't line up with this era. Just like in about another 90, 100 years, the Aquarian age is not going to line up with the Piscean age.
Yeah.
It's going to be slightly off. That's why when you're looking in the water, whatever you're seeing is not where you see it at. Right? It's a shift in the lens that the water does. It's like having on funny glasses. Right? Or walking through the funny mirrors. It moves stuff in a different way. And then depending on the angle of the light, it can make stuff look clearly outlined or wavy and wobbly. Optical illusion. So this is all the descriptive analysis of the Piscean age we exited out of. So we talked about narcissists earlier, right? Narcissist seen itself in the water and fell in love with itself.
Sure did, and fell in.
Got over arrogant. So his face is in the water. He can't see himself for what he really is. He's clouded by the ego.
Yes. Come on now.
So when his face comes out of the water, he have to wait for the water to stabilize and settle.
You never get the same waves because the waves are always turning and moving. Yes.
But he believe he looks horrible now.
Yes.
Because he don't know the science of the wave. He don't know he supposed to wait until the water settle in order to get a clear picture.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. And water.
That means there'd be from the time that Aquarius closed and open and Pisces closed, it's a process to clear up the waters.
That's why we're saying it's a marathon, not a relay, baby. Because it's a microwave.
Right. So water is the symbol for spirit.
Yes.
This is why everybody was holier than thou 100 years ago.
Yeah. That's why you got the maritime law too. They always want to do everything over the water because they did all their illusions over that quote unquote Neptune illusionic with that Saturn Pisces Pluto Aquarius.
So now we come out of that, and what they tell us about the age of Aquarius, this is when all things be but made known. So now we're telling the story, but it's so simple that everybody understand it. But that simplicity makes it so fantastic, nobody can believe it.
Right.
So this is the cognitive dissonance in the reality of a thing, in the current perception being altered of the thing.
That's what we call educated fools. You're
No, you're going through the catharsis, the cognitive dissonance phase.
Yeah, because they like coming out of illusion because they've been so used to being in war. That's why I said right now what the season and energy people are in. It's people have been in war so long they don't know they're not prepared for peace. Like they've been, because I think I was telling you I was like what you were doing. I said I've been in my like feminine energy. I just like been loving my house and my energy, which is different because I'm so used to being in war. But I'm like I like this like little peace phase. Like this feels good. But some people are gonna have if they're not prepared, it's gonna be a hard adjustment to be in peace. Like especially if you've been in war for a long time. Like it's okay. You don't have to always have drama or challenges or talk or. It's like it's literally it's okay. It's come on back. It's okay. We have to open the doula centers and learner centers. Like I don't know if like people watch anime. My sons are really into anime. So if you ever have watched like Hunter x Hunter or Attack on Titans, especially Attack on Titans, right? Aaron Yeager. It's this one part where he had like this whole thing where it was just war. He was born into war, right? Came in from his family, and you talk about a master alchemist and a pre-planner. He pre-planned everything, and everybody thought he was like so good. Then they thought he was so bad, but they didn't realize, because when you realize time is an illusion and you walk ahead of time, like when you become and you can be a seer and you see everything in advance, like you're walking it from the future backwards, because time is not real, right?
Mm-hmm.
People can't understand. And so it took into everything was at peace for his friends, for Aaron Yeager's friends. If you've already finished like season 2 of part 2 of season 4 on Attack on Titans, to realize like everything that you thought was done, because he was very meticulous in every move he made, that it was all so you could have peace at the end of the table. And it was like they couldn't even understand sometimes being at the peace in the rebuilding phase, because some people were so used to war. And that's why when we say sometimes everybody can't go, that was what he was saying when he was talking about sometimes that 80-20. The 80-20 wasn't because he just wanted to be bad. The 80-20 was because sometimes some people want to stay in war and they can't process, and they may have to cycle and come back through. So that's why I just work with those who want to work with. And that's why I'm like, I literally don't have time. Like, I'm not going to even give you my energy, because energy is currency. Like, I'm just not going to do it.
Mm-hmm. My father had a saying. He say, bend the willow when it's young, because when it get big, it's going to be a big, strong tree, and you won't be able to bend it.
Mm-hmm.
And he was using that in reference to the rearing of children. When you recycle that warrior, he come back in as an infant, and as he develop in the new era, he'll be able to grow up learning without the war being wrapped around him.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if you've been in the pool all day long, and when you get out, you can feel it all in your body, and it feels different because you've been acclimated to the water. Right? Mm-hmm. Water is the symbol for spirit.
Mm-hmm.
So now we go into the age of Aquarius, mm-hmm. the age of Oshun, the lady who pours the water out, which is the outpouring of the spirit. Mm-hmm. And this is, they say, the spirit of the heavenly host shall rain down upon man. Well, how's it going to rain? It's not coming from the clouds. It's coming from beyond the clouds. Mm-hmm. Right? Because Aquarius is a system of stars. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right? And the water that's raining down, the only way it can come down as in frequency and energy on rays of light. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. These rays of light then animate the people to perform a function to facilitate the energy transfer. Mm-hmm. And that's what they call the voodoo.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's the actual root to voodoo. This is why they told us it was evil.
Yes.
Because when we dress up to honor ancestors that was crossed over, mm-hmm. we channeling as we dress up. We don't even know which ancestor it is we channeling until we get dressed up. Mm-hmm. And then he started talking. JD's Revenge, JD Walker. Mm-hmm. Right? And that tells the story of how the Conjure Man was able to reach into the future and capture another person to perform the function. They had to be related by blood or it won't work. Mm-hmm. So the chiefs all inherit the wars that the ancestor who they come in to restore, they claim they wars so that they can restore the wars back to peace and bring back the balance. This is how I get to be Chief Pontiac.
Yes.
Right? This is how Biggie get to be Sitting Bull. Geronimo Pratt get to be Geronimo. Because those old Mississippians who they said was too dumb to learn.
Right.
And made it against the law for anybody to try to teach them. Mm-hmm. Right? Them old Mississippians ain't gonna never figure this shit out. Country motherfucking bumpkins. So when we talk about the old root women, they the ones who told us, this y'all go ahead and clean this shit up. And then we'll be back. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We'll be back as clan mothers when y'all get done cleaning that shit up.
Sure did.
I'm what you call the chief of last resort. I got to figure it out.
I know
And
I'm one of the if I'm here, it was a problem. If
look,
I don't even come back, yeah, it was a problem.
my mama had me programmed from young,
Yeah.
always telling me to go figure some shit out. And when I say, how I'm gonna figure it out? She said, I don't know. You smart. I'll be like, Mama, I ain't that damn smart. That's what I be thinking in my head. Where the fuck you get that from? And then she sit back and put her hand.
Mm-hmm.
And that mean go sit down until the answer come to you.
That's right.
So I've been sitting down collecting all the answers,
That's why they
giving
say
them to the
study
people.
thyself. Go study. Go know thyself. Go study. Go sit and quiet. You know, sometimes it's okay to just be quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Listen. Listen to self. And also being up under the older mothers or somebody that, and older mothers don't even mean age, it's wisdom. Um, being the mother matriarch of the family isn't age, it's spiritual age,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that's why, like, even in different practices that they call Reiki or whatever, you had to sit up under what they call the teacher, or even people like Empress. You'll have to have someone sit up under her, because you had to learn, because we had to remember, and you had to get the wisdom from the elder mother. Like I know me as a child since I could remember. I always sat at the feet of my great grandmothers and my grandmothers and everyone that was of older age or of wisdom because I was learning.